Have you ever wondered why an LED bulb can stop working even though most of the components inside still look perfectly fine? Most people never ask that question. The moment a bulb stops lighting up, it usually ends up in the trash and a new one takes its place. And these bulbs are not cheap anymore. So today, I'm going to bring 3 dead bulbs back to life. 3 completely different ways using a dead battery, a screw, and a razor blade. And it is going to cost me almost nothing. But today we're going to test 3 different repair methods using materials that most people already have at home. If they work, this dead bulb might not be dead at all. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Dan. Let's find out. Before taking anything apart, I want to make sure the problem is actually inside the bulb and not somewhere else. So I grab another LED bulb that I know is working properly and screw it into the same socket. The light comes on immediately. That tells us the socket is fine. The power supply is fine. Now I reinstall the faulty bulb. Nothing happens. No flicker, no light, no sign of life at all. That means the problem is inside the bulb itself and it's time to open it up. Using a utility knife, I carefully work around the seam between the plastic diffuser and the housing. The blade slides slowly through the adhesive. Now comes the most important part of the diagnosis. Many LED bulbs use a series circuit. In a series circuit, electricity must pass through every LED chip one after another. If just one chip fails, the entire circuit opens and the whole bulb goes dark. I begin checking each LED one at a time. Moving slowly around the board, I test every chip until I find the culprit. This one is marked D2. The moment I reach it, the behavior of the circuit changes. That's our failed LED. Now we need a way to reconnect the circuit. For the first repair method, I'm going to use something hidden inside an old battery. Most people throw away dead batteries without realizing they still contain useful materials. Using pliers, I peel away the outer shell and pull apart the internal components. Inside is a carbon rod. That's exactly what I need. Carbon is conductive enough to allow electrical current to pass through it. I place a piece of sandpaper on the workbench and begin rubbing the carbon rod across the surface. Fine black powder starts collecting on the paper. The longer I grind, the finer the powder becomes. This carbon powder will become our conductive bridge. Using a small tool, I transfer a tiny amount of carbon powder onto the gap where the EOE used to be. The powder fills the space between both contacts. Then I place a small piece of clear tape over the repair. The tape holds the carbon in place and prevents it from shifting. For additional durability, I add a tiny drop of super glue on top. After waiting a moment for everything to settle, it's time for the test. The board goes back into the bulb. The bulb returns to the socket. I flip the switch, and immediately the bulb lights up. Every remaining LED comes back to life. The failed LED is gone, but the circuit is complete again. That's repair number 1. And just like that, a bulb that was headed for the trash is good as new. Now, let's try something different. I have 2 more failed LED bulbs here. Most people would throw them away. Instead, we're going to see if another method works just as well. This second bulb is slightly harder to open. Rather than forcing it, I spray a small amount of WD-40 around the seam. WD-40 helps soften old adhesive and makes disassembly easier. After a gentle twist, the diffuser comes free. Again, I begin inspecting the LED board. The process is the same. Test each LED. Move slowly. Watch carefully. Eventually, I locate the failed chip and remove it. Now I need a new way to reconnect the circuit. This time I'm going to use a screw. Using a small drill bit, I carefully make a hole through the contact area where the defective LED was located. The hole only needs to be large enough for a small screw. Next, I select a screw that fits tightly. Not too large, not too loose. The screw is threaded into the hole and tightened carefully. As it tightens, the metal body of the screw touches both sides of the circuit. That creates a direct conductive path. In other words, the screw becomes a bypass around the failed LED. A simple piece of hardware is now doing the job of reconnecting the circuit. Everything looks secure. Let's see if it works. The board goes back into the housing. The bulb is installed into the socket. I turn on the power, and there it is. Bright light, the bulb is working again. The failed LED is bypassed, and the rest of the LEDs continue operating normally. That's repair number 2 complete. Now let's move on to the third and final method. This bulb has the same symptom, completely dead, no light whatsoever. The diffuser is removed just like before. The LED board is exposed. I test each LED carefully until I locate the failed chip. Once identified, the damaged LED is removed from the circuit. Before we finish, let me know where you're watching from. I always enjoy seeing comments from all over the world. And if you know someone who throws dead bulbs straight in the trash, send them this video because those bulbs add up fast. This time, instead of carbon powder or a screw, I'm going to use a razor blade. A razor blade is made from thin, conductive steel. It's strong, easy to cut, and thin enough to fit into very small spaces. Using scissors, I cut a tiny section from the blade. The piece only needs to be large enough to bridge the gap left behind by the failed LED. I position the metal strip across the exposed contacts. Then I secure it with a small piece of tape. To keep everything from moving over time, I add another drop of superglue. The repair is simple, but electrically it does exactly the same thing as the previous methods. 3 bulbs, 3 different repairs, 3 successful results. What makes these repairs interesting is that none of them required expensive replacement parts. The real challenge wasn't replacing components. It was diagnosing the failure correctly. Once we understood that a single failed LED was interrupting a series circuit, the solution became much simpler. Whether we used carbon powder, a metal screw, or a small piece of razor blade, each method accomplished the same goal. They restored the electrical path and allowed current to reach the remaining LEDs. Today we took 3 bulbs that most people would consider garbage and brought them back to life using simple materials and a little patience. Projects like this remind us that many household items fail because of one small problem, not because the entire device is unusable. Fix it, don't replace it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.